How strange. The Dreamland on the other side seems a little different. Silver lights floated slowly through the darkness of the void. As she looked along the floating marks in the Dreamland, Teresa noticed a familiar figure. What are you doing here, Sila? I learned of your plan from Dr. Einstein, so I came to see if I can be of help. According to the doctor, my ability to sense bubble universes may be quite useful for the aggregation of dreamlands. So I volunteered to come here and give it a try. I'm not causing you any trouble, right? Of course not. The ability to sense bubble universes, which is to say you can sense which dreamlands are weaker or have a greater influence on the aggregation of dreamlands, right? If the doctor's deductions are accurate, then I think it should be it. That's great news. It's like having an all-knowing guide. I'm counting on you, Sila. Alright, I'll do my best. This is... Is there something wrong? This place overlaps with a particular scene in my memories and makes me feel a little emotional. It was a very long time ago. At the time, a friend and I sneaked out and started wandering aimlessly on a street, just like this one. We didn't go anywhere. All we did was strolling about or chatting, but that is one of my happiest memories. I can tell that friend is very important to you. Yes, she is. The light I've been seeking all my life. Alright, instead of reminiscing, let's focus on the operation at hand. Let's split up and find more about the Dreamland from the people there. Alright, leave it to me. Strange. The atmosphere here is so strange. Everyone seems to be in a daze. They're either daydreaming or unwilling to pay attention to others. Why would such a dream even exist? Oh, I should see how Sila's doing. That's not what I meant. Then stay away from me. Leave me alone. But if this goes on, that's none of your business. What happened? I noticed that she seemed to be in great pain, so I asked if she needed any help, but... You're with her? Both of you stay away from me. Calm down. We just want to help. We have no intention to hurt you. I'm telling you to stay away. Why do you even bother with this? Just be frank and tell her she's dreaming. All of this is a dream. Huh? Wait. The agitated woman blinked without a shred of surprise. On the contrary, she seemed exhausted. Oh, is that so? Hey, do you understand me? I said all of this is a dream. You're trapped in a dream. This isn't reality. We're here to wake you up. Why? Even if what you said is true, why must I wake up? Reality is painful enough. Why must you deprive me of my right to dream? That look of absolute despair on the woman's face was all too familiar to Teresa. Many years ago, she saw the same expression on her own face when she looked in the mirror. I see. It's that kind of dream. People grow up and realize the world is far less beautiful than they imagined as a child. Reality is full of helplessness, injustice, and suffocating pain. When they fail to change the situation, no matter how hard they try, they will instinctively seek escape. They give up on thinking, numb their hearts, and hide in their own worlds. This dreamland is oppressive but quiet because its owner does not believe there's any hope ahead and has fallen into endless stagnation. Dreams do not contain the happiness they once yearned for because they stop dreaming in reality. It is why this dream is so stable. This is the only home for those who have been taken over by despair in reality. So, it's impossible to wake them? Why don't we use physical means to resolve this? No, I still want to try, because I was once trapped in a similar dream. At that time, I hadn't found the meaning of my existence yet. As an artificial life, I was unable to blend into other groups and could only live on numbly. I was just like them at the time. I had no dream, and I would anticipate nothing. But it was also then that I met the friend I mentioned earlier. She was just like me. She grew up in a dark room and could only learn about the world from books. But unlike me, even though we live in a world of limited space, she always came up with wild ideas. She brought me all sorts of strange gifts, showed me the flowers she grew, the nest she made for birds, and even sneaked out with me in the dead of night. At that time, she said to me, "The more people suppress themselves, the more they yearn for happiness. The failure to get what they desire causes them to temporarily lose courage to move forward. All they need is an opportunity, perhaps a story that moves their heart, a piece of melodious music, or a game that resonates with them. It's a moment that will reignite their hope to fight against the hardship of life and embrace the light of tomorrow. They've always had the courage and strength to overcome despair, but they just never realized it." She said that everyone is actually braver than they imagine. They are strong enough to face the unhappy reality of life and create new opportunities. You've spoken a lot about yourself, but you don't understand me. You're right. You're the one who knows yourself best, of course. What you once yearned for, and the dreams you once sought. You remember how you felt then. It is the source of your courage, your motivation to go forward, and it is your heart. Staying here won't bring you satisfaction. It will just be a meaningless waste of time. You should give your heart another chance, shouldn't you? She opened her mouth but failed to utter a single word. A tear rolled down her face while reflecting the glow of streetlights. You. Alright, Sila, it's time for us to leave. That's it? She hasn't even done anything. Just words alone can never make people change their minds, but the perspective I provided just now must have created an impact that is sufficient for an adult to start making changes. Perhaps. Thank you for teaching me all that, Cecilia. He said he had overtime the last time too. You know how their project is going. Let's just go. Come over here and help me with my hairpin. Hurry up! These are two straight hairpins, not a cross-shaped hairpin. Why did you put both of them on? Oh, it's fine. You always wanted to go, right? Everything else can be pushed aside, but this concert is once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I'll help you with the bad check, don't worry. But I'm afraid... There's an old guy staring at us over there. Maybe we should leave now. It's alright. Let's just head home. But I could have done better. It's good enough for me. I've always been proud of you. Oh, don't cry. It's alright. It isn't a great school anyway. There isn't a queue to get a number for the store today. Is it not popular anymore? This will do. Maybe this was a good beginning for his journey. Indeed, everything was normal. Just normal. People were still repeating mistakes they should have made, suffering failures they tried their best to avoid, and shrouded by small instances of joy and sorrow day after day. But such mediocrity was what a certain era yearned for, yet cannot attain. In this world that faced Honkai as well, it was such a similar desire. Young man, would you like an extra egg? For that reason, Project Sigma would be called the worst, just like Honkai. Young man? But the man was aware that he has no other choice, and he never had one. Young man, your ramen is ready. The man moved his scrutinizing gaze away from himself and towards the world. He noticed the ramen cart sign and the other customers lined behind him. He remained silent and planned to leave, but the owner held a bowl of noodles towards him. It was so close that the steam from the noodle ball blurred his eyes. The man knew that he was supposed to take it with his hands. Besides himself, everyone he knew had considered what his life would be like when he finally purged Honkai from this world. Some thought that death was the best outcome for him, as he was truly lonely. Some thought he'd finally be able to let go, change his name, and have a bowl of ramen while seated before a simple house and spend the night recalling the smiles of some people. Others thought he could still act as a mentor for the new age and redeem himself once more. Even he acknowledged these failures were not far-fetched. In fact, at a certain point in time, a very long time ago, they had all briefly been his aspirations. But in actuality, from the moment Project Sigma was completed, he hadn't planned any future for himself. He had searched for a place to bury himself, but that was for another reason. Those lives others had imagined were truly peaceful ones. Sorry, there's no need. The ramen was delicious. He walked away. Peace belonged to those who put an end to everything, not those who became the end itself. As I mentioned before, character is destiny. It hadn't been long since he last met the philosopher. But today, the number of his audience declined drastically. The man couldn't recall when he came into a habit of frequenting this place. But he was sure of one thing: the philosopher was also a fool trapped in this age. Even a utopia designed by the greatest of minds would fail over the passage of thousands of years. He was a perfect example of that, in both ways. He was undoubtedly quite ordinary, and his companions used to tease him for being slow-witted. But once he gained time that far surpassed that of a normal person, he could even look down upon the most outstanding minds of any era. Perhaps he was here to get a better view of the era's shallowness and make up his mind on something. There's no good or bad destiny, but the same can't be said about character. Who? I once had a friend. Perhaps he was talented in certain aspects, but he was quite slow and became used to relying on the decisions of others. It was due to his character. Thus, he chose an outstanding mind, a heart worth following, and then he obeyed the person's decisions and treated that person's destiny as his own. For him, was the discourse of character is destiny still true? Oh, forgive me, my eyes aren't what they used to be. Can you come closer? Young man, have you met a hero? I've met plenty. No, not the ones in your mind. Perhaps you still remember that I once said there is only a single ideal in this world, trampling the ideals of others. All ideals must trample on the ideals of others to be realized. If you do not agree, it's because you haven't realized it. According to the standard, people fall into two types. Those who've done so are considered heroes, and the rest are just ordinary. The man was not convinced. In arrogance cultivated by his long life, his first reaction was the philosopher had experienced little and knew nothing. Hasten not, young man. I'm not done yet. Everyone wants to be a hero, but we know that if everyone was a hero, we could only imagine what a terrible place the world could be. So, another type of hero was born. Their ideals are completely different. They wish for their ideals to be trampled upon instead. And the rules by which the world operates are actually upheld by them. The body of Rassier, his death saved the entire city from the ravage of Honkai beasts. It is because his soul flowed into the grave, the earth shall become richer than the sky. Her sacrifice allowed civilization to carry on. This is a hero who changed the world. Reflect on his faults and memorize his merits. For he was also mortal. Obviously, what stood here was not a ruined building, but a grand tombstone. The reason it was so big is obvious as well. Those laid to eternal rest here were heroes acknowledged by the world. And they were all the humans in this Dreamland. But this world, the man gazed at the endless expanse of sand around him, and he knew there was nothing but patrolling monsters there. If everyone was a hero, we could only imagine what a terrible place the world would be. Indeed, his words can be considered prophetic. But I still find it difficult to accept that such a person can be called a hero. The outcome here is reality, not a dream. As he said, the dreams created by Project Sigma might have their own limitations, but they were not restricted by objective reality. It could be completely illogical, and all of this should have never occurred. Provided it hasn't changed in any way. There are other visitors like me in Spiritual Adam. Waves hit the beach as the warm midday sun covered everything in rays of lazy sunlight. The huts scattered around the area weren't luxurious. Conversely, they were so simple that they seemed out of place in a sweet dream. I didn't expect to see a dreamland like this. It feels so realistic. But if so, why must anyone rely on a dream to realize this? I don't know, but looking at how empty it is, I guess its owner is someone without desires. We can't just stay here and guess. We should look around the Dreamland's owner and ask about his life. Could you? Oh, are the two of you here to convince him to wake up from this dream? Him? You know this is a dream. I do. Unfortunately, I cannot help you. This isn't my dream. I'm just a family member that someone else imagined. After all, the fear of loneliness increases with age. Do you know how to end this dream? I'm afraid it'll take quite a bit of effort. After all, he won't live for long without this dream. What? He's been bedridden for years before arriving here. Even the doctors said that he won't last to see another winter. Most of the others in the stream are in similar situations. So, I have a question for the two of you. For those who still have hope, leaving this dreamland is a blessing of the brave. But what about those who have no future?